Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to SIKH Channel Community Talk. I'm joined today by Rupinder Kaur Sandhu, who's the Curriculum Manager at Sandwell College. Rupinder, welcome to SIKH Channel. Thank you very much. It's amazing to be here, so thank you. Thank you. And before we start, can you tell us about your journey today? Because you haven't come very far and you came with your mother to the studio. How did you find the experience coming to SIKH Channel? It was lovely. So I've come from Tipton today with my mother. So it's been lovely to be here, greeted in such a lovely way. And again, it's just amazing to have this opportunity, really. Thank you. And thank you for coming in person, because a lot of our interviews have been virtual via video link, and that's become something that we're now accustomed to because of the pandemic. But it's nice, once again, to start in-person meetings. Absolutely, it really is, because I think being here in person, you can really have that kind of connection as well. I mean, I've certainly done a lot of my Zoom meetings within the time period, as well as obviously teaching on Zoom. So yeah, it is great to be here in person. And you've achieved a lot in your young career. You're a curriculum manager. Perhaps we can start at the beginning. Okay. Did you study, and if so, where did you study? Tell us about your graduation and how you came to be at Sandwell College. Absolutely. So I guess I kind of started off always wanting to be in the creative sector. I've always been quite a creative person. So I decided to do a GCSE in art and design, did really well in it, pursued it as an A-level, and then I remember my art teacher actually saying to me, you know, you should do this at university, and I never really considered it then. So I actually did a BA in Fine Art at Wolverhampton University, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd done that for 3 years. Having completed that, I then decided that I wanted to work in education. So I did my PGCE in further education, and that has kind of brought me on to working at Sandwell College, where I was actually doing my placement, and that led on to me being a part-time lecturer there in art and design, a full-time lecturer, and now being a curriculum manager for the visual arts in the creative industries, and I absolutely love what I do. That's tremendous, and it seems like you've been on a fast track in your career, because you've achieved so much very quickly. I absolutely have. I think the biggest turning point for me was COVID. You know, knowing that I couldn't be in the classroom with students, I couldn't have that conversation with them that I would normally have on a daily basis. I felt as though I really needed to do something more during that time. And teaching a practical subject, it was hard for me to actually do that on Zoom, and that's what kind of brought me on to actually doing virtual tutorials, so art tutorials. So I had a kind of camera set up in my own home, actually doing art lessons, and actually sending those to students for doing demonstrations, and that then brought me on to actually doing those demonstrations for charities as well. So I was actually sharing my practices with charities. So I shared some of my videos with the Birmingham Children's Hospital, because obviously they couldn't have any visitors, they were ill for whatever illness that they had. So it was just, again, engaging with the actual community, and that's something that I really stand by. That's tremendous, and that's a very good Sikh ethos, doing seva and helping. That charitable element, which is in all Sikh people, is great. And was that encouraged by your parents? I think it was encouraged, but I am also a person, if I have an idea and I've got my mind set to it, then I will just go and fly with that. My mother is my biggest sort of cheerleader as well. Again, so is my husband. So it's nice to kind of have those sort of family members, as well as really supportive colleagues as well, to kind of say, yeah, that's a really good idea, Rupinder, go ahead with it. So yeah, so if I do have an idea, I always kind of want to see it through to the end and do a really good job as well. That's tremendous, because you studied fine art, which is a little bit unusual in the Punjabi Sikh community. It's not something perhaps which is commonly studied by many in our community. I mean, very common is law and accounts and medicine and so on. And how did your parents take to that? Well, I think when I had that conversation with my teacher, and she said, you know, do it as a degree, I kind of came back to family and said, you know, I really want to do this. And they were just kind of like, are you sure you want to do that? You know, there's not really much financial stability. Why don't you do something like law or, you know, like you said, accountancy, that sort of thing. But for me, I really needed to stick
with my passion, and I'm very strongly about, you know, following your heart, following the passion, because you need to do something that you're going to enjoy, and with whatever you enjoy you're going to make an impact in that sort of subject area, and for me that was what I needed to do. So I did have support from family. Obviously some family weren't so happy with it, but I had to kind of prove that this is what I wanted to do, and I know what I was going to pursue with that, really.
And you've gone into great success. You've not only became a lecturer, started teaching art and creative studies, but you became head of curriculum services, the curriculum manager. What does that mean, curriculum manager at Sandwell College?
So the curriculum manager, so I oversee the 4 different subject areas within the visual arts. So that is art and design, fashion, creative and digital media and photography. So I'm able to look at the curriculum, what we deliver to our students. Are they leaving college with the right skills and the knowledge that they need? Are we preparing them correctly for the working industry? So I'm able to kind of look at what we are delivering, what lessons we deliver, the themes and the topics that we look at, and not just about the actual artistic skills, but it's also about the other elements that come with it, like how to ensure that they are financially stable, how to market themselves, how to brand themselves, the business aspect of it as well, alongside all the kind of well-being elements, those sort of bits too.
Rupinder, being the curriculum manager, it's a very big responsibility. Do you feel that is a burden for you, because you're responsible for the futures of a lot of the young people and making sure they get the right skills and right sort of subjects? Is that a big burden?
I wouldn't say it's a burden, because, you know, I do what I do because I want to do that. They are our leaders of the future, and I think it's really important that we are good role models for them. So, you know, I work with fantastic colleagues that obviously they know their subject specialisms, they know their subject areas, and we're able to kind of see the different things that our students can do. And we, oh sorry, could I start that again?
That's fine.
Is that all right? Let me just go back on. Shall I just start from the first bit? Okay then. And we're able to kind of see where their specialisms are, how we can help to encourage them, engage them, and really help them to kind of flourish to be these amazing young people that they already are.
Absolutely, and because it's a creative arts, it's a very personal journey for people, because being creative is a personal expression.
Absolutely, and I think that's what's really important, because every single student looks at a different form of art. They want to represent different things from, you know, we've had students who have looked into politics and have wanted to kind of capture that in their artwork. Some people who have looked at like Black Lives Matter. There's so many different things that you can pursue in art and design, and not just through art and design, but even through like fashion, through the garments that they produce, through photography, and digital and creative media is also turning into such a big thing. The creative industries is a really growing economy at the moment. I mean, 1 in 8 businesses are creative industry based, and I think it's really important that we kind of show the importance of that and take that sort of stigma away of arts not being important. Exactly.
That's right. And it is a career, and you've shown that, you've proven that. You've made a very successful career from it. And in doing so, you've won no less than 3 awards, which is absolutely incredible. You were the International BTEC Tutor 2021. You're the winner of the Women's Award for Outstanding BAME Female Leader in 22. And also the West Midlands Inspirational Female Leader, again, 2022. So you've won these incredible awards. How did that make you feel?
It makes me feel delighted. It's so lovely to be recognised as well for everything that I have kind of done. I mean, you know, doing what I'm doing, having that sort of passion, doing what I've always dreamt of kind of doing, you know, waking up in the morning and doing what I want to do, that's what gets me out of bed. But to kind of win this and to kind of show what a role model I am to students, they're able to kind of look up to me as that. I mean, I've got students who kind of come to the college. I mean, this year is probably one of the first years that we've actually recruited quite a few people from the Asian community in art and design. And one of those students said to me, I went to numerous different colleges, and when I saw you that you was going to be my tutor, I felt as though I wanted to be here because someone was teaching me that represents me, and it's all about that equality, that diverse and that inclusion. So winning these awards for me is just kind of showing what leadership can actually lead to, and if you are dedicated and you have that perseverance, you can do whatever you dream of doing, and I think that's what I want to show the young people.
Absolutely. And in terms of barriers and challenges to progressing in your career, you may have faced challenges being from an ethnic minority,
Yeah.
being of an Asian, Punjabi, or if you like brown background, then also being a lady, a female, can present additional hurdles. And so how did you come across those perhaps two sets of hurdles?
I think I did come across those hurdles since quite a young age. I mean, when I was in school, you know, I did go to a school where there was predominantly white British people and did get bullied for, you know, my colour. But if anything, I think that made me a stronger person. And I wouldn't be sat here today if, you know, those things didn't happen to me and it didn't encourage me to fight to be where I want to be. And obviously going into the arts industry, it was predominantly white people that I was, you know, there were people that I was working with. So there was a lot of barriers in that sort of sense. I mean, when we first did start the art and design course, I was one of the first people of colour within our department, and that is slowly growing now, and it's great to kind of see that. And I feel as though we do need to have more people in leadership to kind of represent the different diversities that there are. And I'm really proud to kind of be in the position that I am, kind of, you know, having that sort of promotion and really kind of taking that stigma away of what creative industries is, and kind of sharing the leadership sort of motion of that. And that kind of led me on to actually being invited to Downing Street this year, where I actually spoke to the Prime Minister's advisors about the representation that we need within education and taking those kind of stereotypes away from Asian women. And it was really nice to kind of discuss that sort of stuff, something that, you know, you feel quite passionate about, quite strongly about, and sharing your views on that, and hopefully, you know, things change. And slowly I think I am seeing changes happen, but I think they just need to happen a bit more faster, really.
That's right. I mean, society is changing a lot, and there is a lot of progress, but still much more to do. And in terms of inclusivity and encouraging others, what would you say to people from our community, from the Sikh community, particularly ladies who want to progress in the arts? And because it's a slightly unusual career path, and we don't have many artists or people working in the arts on the SIKH channel. We have lots of accountants, lawyers, doctors, and we had a very senior building services engineer earlier today, Britpal Jandu from Leeds, who's extremely impressive. But in terms of the arts sector, what would you say to particularly ladies from our community who want to have a career in fine arts?
I think the first thing is that you kind of need to just be true to yourself. You need to kind of ask yourself that question, is this something that I really want to pursue? I mean, we all want to kind of make family happy, we all want to make people happy, everyone can be people pleasers.
To conform.
Yeah, and I think it's all about, you need to kind of follow your heart, and I think, you know, if you have that support behind you and you have that right kind of mindset that this is what I'm going to do, kind of set those goals as well. What is it that you want to achieve this year, or, you know, in the next couple of months? Kind of go with that, because creativity is everywhere. I say this to a lot of parents that I meet when they say, you know, my child wants to go into art and design. I mean, from what we wear, that's been designed by someone. Where we're sat, that's been designed by someone. Everything is creative around us, everything has been designed by somebody. So I think it's really important to kind of know that, because I think we do take the creative arts for granted. So if I was to kind of say, give advice to young ladies out there, I would just kind of say to follow your heart, and do what you want to do. Don't let anyone tell you any different. The sky's the limit, and you just need to do what you feel is best to do.
That's tremendous. And of course, if anybody wants to contact you, they can get in touch with you via social media, via Sandwell College, if they want any advice and assistance.
Absolutely.
And what part has the Sikh faith played in your success? Because equality and service is a very big part of our ethos. How's that helped you?
It's helped me a lot because, like we kind of said at the start, you know, for me teaching it is like server. I am helping these young people. I mean, I do regularly help with a lot of the equality, diversity and inclusion workshops that we do at the college. I mean, this year we did something for Diwali. We got all the students involved in that, and we even done stuff like Black History Month, Mental Health Awareness Week. So again, it's always giving back to the sort of community. I mean, even in my lessons I always kind of discuss different artists from different faiths, different backgrounds, and I think it's really important that we have those discussions.
Is there a gap? Is there perhaps not many Punjabi artists who are very well known? Because I can think of one or two names, but not very many Punjabi or Sikh artists. Are there many Sikh artists in the world?
There's not as many as we would like. I mean, there are a few that have gone, you know, quite far. I mean, I went to an exhibition that was part of, you know, the British Art Show 9, which was about Davinder. I mean, we've also had like Jaskert Bora, who's also done some stuff within the local industry. So it's nice to see these local artists who are South Asian, who are within the Midlands, doing these amazing things. And together, I think it's about kind of promoting that to these young Asian women as well.
That's great. And where do you go from here? 3 awards. You're the lead for the curriculum of your department at Sandwell College, which is a very big college here in the West Midlands. What's next for you? What are your next aspirations?
I think my next aspirations would be to promote the arts further. I feel as though we kind of need to engage more with artists, like we've just kind of said, like getting more guest speakers in within the college, or not even just the college, but also within the education sector. And I think, again, it's just about kind of not just promoting myself, but also showing people how important the arts are really, and kind of just inspiring further people and engaging more people within that, and really again just focusing on the community, engaging more with them, and letting them know the importance of art really, and how it can change them, not just through communicating with others. They can, you know, make new relationships, and they can learn new skills. And I think it's quite nice to get people, not just from a young age but from all ages, to kind of connect with one another, because art is one of the best things in terms of really engaging with people's well-being and mental health. And mental health is something that I think a lot of people are trying to overcome at this moment in time.
It's become such a big issue, mental health, and social media is a big part of playing that.
It is.
And social media is also a form of art, isn't it?
It is definitely. I think social media can be good and bad. Good in the sense that you can share your work on there, it can go globally, but then obviously it does have its disadvantages because you're trying to keep up with what is being put on there. You're kind of competing with others as well. So yeah, it can have its good and its bad sort of ways, I guess.
Absolutely. Rupinder Kaur, Sandhu, Visual Arts Curriculum Manager from Sandwell College, thank you very much.
Thank you
for joining us. Many congratulations again on the 3 awards you've achieved, and also in terms of your career, achieving such a great position in the college in fine arts, which is an unusual profession and vocation in our community, and we hope it will encourage others to take up the arts, because there is a lack of arts, whether it's professional or in terms of a activity or hobby within the community. Perhaps that's the starting point, to get people to do it as a hobby.
Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of community projects that are happening, and I think it's more about engaging those people within that, and I think that's something that I want to do, like I kind of said, about kind of promoting the arts. And I think it needs to happen locally before you decide to branch it out. So I think, you know, you need to kind of start at home and then take it a bit further.
Absolutely. Rupinder, thank you very much.
Thank you ever so much.
And I would like to give the final word to my guests. Any short message you'd like to give to the SIKH Channel viewers from yourself in terms of your achievements and your commitment to the fine arts?
Absolutely. I think fine art is very important. It is an important part of our society, and I think, you know, if you are interested in following the arts, then please do so. It's such a growing economy at the moment. There's so many jobs that it can lead to creatively and digitally, especially with the way that 21st century technology is changing. So I think, you know, it's such a big area for people to kind of go into, and they're crying out for creative minds, and that everyone has got some creativity in them. A lot of people say, you know, I don't know how to draw, but everyone has got some creativity in them somewhere.
Absolutely, and the SIKH channel here, we are a creative art because we're a broadcaster,
Absolutely.
a media TV station and a production house, and we try to be creative with our programming and engage our viewers. So perhaps you can also assist SIKH channel.
Absolutely, I would love to do that. That would be amazing.
Thank you very much, Rupinder. Thank you very much for joining us today. And please do keep in touch and advise us of your progress and other projects that you get involved with. We'll be very pleased to support you from SIKH channel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.